Hey there, Supalama here. It's been a while since I did a follow-up video to my Yale Superior build. I kind of got carried away and started building again on it and forgot to hit record on a few of my many sessions with it among the few days that I've been doing it. So this is the plug in the saddle I've got. So as you can see, I've added the fingerprint springs. Now some of these guys do have springs in them for their sliders, but the rigidity of the spring wasn't good enough for me, so I put in something a little bit stiffer. Fingerprints are down here in the tray still. I've got this here. Don't know if you guys can see it. Kind of. There. Grub screw. That took a lot of modifying to make that work in the lock. And I'll explain why later. And when I actually get the lock put together, I'll take the key out and show you exactly what that's for. And all the key pins are still there, 9-pin. Still a 9-pin. They're standard, doesn't matter. There wasn't a point in modifying these. And that's pretty well it. The double slider is still gonna be in there, so give me a minute to get the sliders set back into the lock, and we'll get final assembly going. Final thing to note, the drivers, all of them are pretty well just American pins. They are undersized from what the Yale Superior takes. The standard size Yale and things like that, those are oversized, so it's too big. So this Yale Superior uses something a little bit in between. And partially I was too lazy to make driver pins, but at the same time, in order to make this lock function with the split sidebar like it's supposed to, there needs to be tension onto the sidebar pretty well immediately. And because I'm using undersized drivers, that forces that. So that'll pretty well be the end all be all. As soon as you add tension to this lock, that's it. It locks you out. Like, you can pick the drivers all day long, but as soon as you move on to the sidebar, it's not moving. The split sidebar kinks in a brilliant way that I didn't think it would, and I don't think I'll ever be able to properly explain either. Just note that I took the idea out of ProTech 1 as I've been learning how it works and how I can design a pick for that to follow along Huxley. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna cut the camera. I'll have the sliders set up, and I'll get hopefully a video of me putting this lock together properly, and that should be that. Okay, so finally got everything somewhat put together here. If you do got this, I highly recommend getting these shoes. They came with the that Euro gutting set. So there's the sliders there. They all line up, as you can see. Gonna add the springs and the split sidebar now. There is a specific orientation the split sidebars must be installed, otherwise they will not work. I'll show that to you guys in a second here. Okay, so the split sidebar, normally the original sidebar has a curved end on top, and when I split it right down the center. So if you accidentally put curved ends together, the sidebar will not work. You have to have flat to flat to make it one full sidebar. And it has to be installed all at once. Just like that. I also heavily recommend gutting with the key in and reassembly with the key in. There is no other way to do it. There are too many other complex parts in here that could go wrong, and it's just not fun. Now, let's see if I can get this all put together here. There is one thing I forgot to mention. Spring 1, very, very, very heavy. It's the heaviest spring I could find at that size, so it's an incredibly heavy spring. I also recommend a shim, simply because the American pins are small. There are no T-pins, so it's not like anything's going to get caught in this little valley here, but it's good to have just in case. I'm going to make sure I've got everything set up here. As you can see, like that spring is very heavy. Very, very heavy. I probably don't need the shim. Actually, I'm going to take the shim out. Yeah, you can see that was a brand new shim, and that spring already decimated it. Yeah, we're going to do it like that because the sidebar will point down and all the pins are up top. A little bit easier to handle there. I have not fully assembled this lock before, so this will be a first for myself as well. I know I'm not doing a very good job of recording the whole thing. Sidebar is in. I'm keeping forward pressure on the plug, so I was pressing the plug up against the back, or sorry, the follower up against the back of the plug here to keep a very, very strong mating surface. Okay. Get the C-clip on there, so that way if I pull the key out, it doesn't pull the whole plug out as well. Okay. And there it is. Yes, the key is going to be very, very, very tight to get in and out. But it is out. So, my battery is dying, but I'm going to try and get in there and see. There is a slight dimple here, down at the bottom. Let's see if I can get a little bit of a better view. There's a slight dimple there. You might be able to see right there. That's a ball bearing. And so if I lift, keep hitting one up just a little. Ooh, that's a very heavy spring. You see that ball bearing comes up in place of it. And what that does is when you start picking this guy, it's going to interrupt your feedback. It's also going to be in the way of the sliders. So that's very, very nice. Also, the key only works one way. I believe this has to face outwards of the keyway, like that. There it is. Yale Superior, finally done. Thanks for watching.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me.